All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the HVAC Overtime Show. What's up?
I'm almost situated over here. I'm just kind of rearranging things.
We got the Gothic monk in the house, Adam Muckich. The penis eater, Joe.
That's right.
He said, yep.
And then we got Chris Stefanovich.
That's me. That is me.
The California raisin himself.
Oh, speaking of raisins.
Speaking of raisins, let's get into that right away.
So I despise raisins, okay? But there's this one trail mix that I absolutely love. So it's a painstaking process, but I have to pull each and individual raisin out.
Oh my God.
Can you mail me the raisins, please?
Well,
right.
Well, actually, I got in trouble because Jill was like, "Are you throwing those raisins away?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're fucking gross." And she's like, "Put them in a bag. I'll eat them." And I'm like, "I don't know who in the right mind eats raisins." Like
everybody in the world eats
raisins.
That's
true.
But it's masked.
It's a texture thing, dude. They freaking freak me out. But it's also the taste though, because I like the little dried cranberries. Those are good. I can eat those, but I can't eat raisins. Like, ugh.
It's like little tiny nut sacks you're licking. I mean, that's $47 worth of raisins right there. You can't throw those away.
Are raisins expensive? I have no idea.
Hell yeah.
They're stupid.
Really? Do they still make California raisins?
I don't know, but I remember the song and the album. I had like the CD of the California raisins and
I forgot.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that trail mix right now. So
cranberries are good. Jesus fish. What's wrong with you?
I don't eat raisins or cranberries. Oh my God.
Cranberries are freaking epic. Like, you know what? Even one of my favorite things is cranberries at like Thanksgiving or Christmas. You take the whole cranberries and you boil them in like the sugar crap and just, so good, dude. So good.
Never had that before.
So white.
Not no fake cranberries out of a can. We make them homemade around here. On the turkey.
You put that stuff on your, that turkey.
Anonymous says, couldn't agree more with you.
About what? It depends on when that came through.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah. Someday I'll grow up. One day.
So what's going on, guys? Long time no talk. It's been like a week, right?
Feels like it's been a week.
Been a minute. Been a crazy week, man. It's just been like dumpster fire after dumpster fire over here. What about you guys?
Nothing crazy this week. I was up in a 50-foot lift all day running 250 foot of thermostat wire through a warehouse.
4?
That's pretty cool. They had just up to a rooftop unit. It had I found it once I was pulling the wire out. It looks like it had arced out right where the thermostat wire comes down through the roof deck. There's just a sharp piece of metal there, and it kind of cut out. I mean, at that point, by the time I found it there, and I'm pulling wire through, I'm like, yeah, I could have spliced it by then, but I already had 200 feet of wire ran, so kept on trucking.
What color of thermostat wire do you guys use? Like, what color is the insulation on it? The gray stuff there? Oh, it's the brown one.
Traditional brown.
Oh, See, I thought that it has to be over like a fire rating. It has to be the gray stuff over here. The brown stuff's good for resi, but for commercial, it has to be the gray stuff. It's higher, higher fireproof, whatever.
Could have been. I mean, that could be the rule. I have no idea though.
They don't follow rules. He's in the union.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea.
They have their own union. They don't even have to follow labor laws.
So that reminds me of something. Let me tell you guys a quick story. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine.
Does he have a very bad too?
He is in charge of a bunch of different apartment complexes in that. And there's one in Chicago. There's one in Chicago that they were having issues with commercial water tanks. All right.
Yeah.
And they ended up replacing them with 2 of those big freaking commercial A.O. Smith tanks. Bill, I think those are the ones that you guys fried a couple of years ago, right?
Sounds about right. Yeah. All the electronics right on top.
Yep.
Super expensive.
So they had they installed the new tanks and they started having issues right off the bat. And the company they're like one of the biggest commercial outfits in the Chicagoland area. They went out on a service call on the one, replaced the gas valve 3 times. Couldn't figure out what's going on. They're like, okay, we just have to replace this tank. The night before they were going to replace the tank, the second one went out. And we don't know what's going on with it. So they replaced the tank. And when they replaced it,
Still the same problem?
Well, they haven't had a problem yet. But what a friend of mine told them was don't connect the intake on that tank. And I'm pretty sure what's going on because I pulled up a vent table on it. I think they have too long of a flue run on the freaking thing. And he said they sent out they sent out an engineer to make sure it's going to work, that the flue will work and everything else. And nope, no dice.
That seems like a real easy calculation to do.
Right? I mean, a scab like me can figure that out, right?
Out of curiosity, though, something's got to change when you have both of them venting at the same time, right? So that's going to add complexity.
What do you mean?
Were they connected together?
Are they going out of the singular flue pipe? Didn't you say there was 2?
No. There's 2 of them, but there's like 2 intakes, 2 exhausts.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay,
separate, got it.
So yeah.
How long do you think it is to run?
He said probably pipe only for one complete system. So intake and exhaust is probably around 120 feet.
Holy shit.
And I looked up at their vent table and they said maximum of 690s with 120 feet. And he's like, there's got to be at least 10. There could be over a dozen and plus 45. Yeah, plus 45s.
Wow.
How big is the exhaust in this thing for that
6
long?
inch?
Why do they have 10 90s? They couldn't there's no straight run available to just a couple of 90s, 3, 4 maybe.
I don't know. It was in a basement and they had to run across the basement, jump up through the first floor, then keep going over horizontal. Then they went out underneath this overhang outside and they ran like on an angle, like 30 feet of pipe outside to get underneath this overhang so they could vent it out in free air.
Well, there's a job right there.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think they need to increase the diameter of that intake if they want it to work with that.
I don't know what you can get for PVC as far as bigger than 6 inch, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We had a little incident today. We've had this customer that we have told them countless times that they have a massive roof leak. It's under their refrigeration rack. The way that the rack is sitting up on its pedestal up on the roof, it's panned and water's go. This is what I can theorize has happened is over the years, there's no drainage under the rack. So it's sitting right on the pan, right? Or the top or whatever, galvanized top. And it's pooling in there and it's rusted out the galvanized over the years and leaked through. So we've told them, guys, it's getting worse and worse. Like it leaks through the drywall every time we have to wash the refrigeration rack. And this isn't a place where you have to wash it 4 times throughout the summer. And we keep telling them today. I don't know why I feel so guilty and so bad, but I sent both my guys up there. And this is how much we know. We have a scheduled maintenance that I know we have to do every year. I send 2 guys to go clean this refrigeration rack, one with a freaking shop vac. All he's doing is shop backing the water out from the top of the rack before it gets underneath as fast as possible. It leaked through down onto all their audio video equipment.
Nice.
All the stereos and one of the TVs went out and the manager's freaking out and my guys are calling me and I'm like, fuck, but it's not our fault. We've told, like, dude, countless times. I've talked to even the roofer. The one time the roofer was there, and this isn't dripping through an AC. This is just coming through the fucking roof. Like, you have to wash it, dude. But fuck, dude.
Are they gonna fix it this time or what?
Probably
I
not.
don't know. I don't know. Well, here's the problem. They have to. We had to stop mid-wash. I asked my guys, I'm like, did you get all the blue coil cleaner off? And he's like, I don't know, man. Because stuff started smoking and crap. And I'm like, fuck. So, but these guys, like, I talked to their roofer like 6 months ago. I ran into him. And no, see, this refrigeration rack is sitting on a galvanized roof curb. Okay. So it's a galvanized cap. You can't tarp anything because the water's getting under the rack where I can't get to it, the spot underneath it, and it's pooling, and there's leaks in the roof under the rack.
So even fix that, you'd have to remove the rack, right?
Yeah, we have to lift up the rack.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
And they have to make a custom pan for it, and they have to have someone out there. The roofers have to put a pan there, redo the whole galvanized roof cap that has 2 penetrations in it, one for electrical on one side and one for refrigeration lines on the other side. This rack is probably 25 to 30 feet long.
Jeez.
I'm thinking of the freaking crane, dude. I bet you that thing weighs.
Crane.
Yeah. And we're going to have spreader bars on it. Like, fuck, dude.
And that's going to take what? You have to get a reefer truck out there to move the product?
Dude, it's going to be a fucking dumpster fire. Like, this restaurant they have money. They're a big company, but they've made a lot of mistakes in their construction over the years. So they have an entire stainless steel island unit. We call it an island unit. That is all their refrigeration, all their soup wells, all their heat lamps. It's all a custom unit. That's probably 50 feet long. Like, it's huge, probably 12 feet. This is downstairs, and everything is slowly just rotting out inside of it. Pan chillers have leaks that we had to cut them out. So now they could just put ice in them. Like, it's that bad.
And so, the chain you're talking about, I did some work with that chain.
Yeah. But anyways, the point that I was making is that they just have a lot of crap going on, and it's just all hitting this one particular restaurant. And now we got to deal with this before summer. We got to get this thing lifted up. I'm trying to think of ways, like, is it possible? I'm trying to think if there's a safe way that I can use some sort of a gantry system and just lift up the rack 4 inches at a time. Like, could I get a beam? A 4x4 wouldn't be enough, but like, what if I lifted it up 4 inches without disconnecting the refrigeration lines, ran some sort of a beam underneath, lifted that beam and elevated the rack to where the roofers could get underneath there. But then that might be sketchy because they're underneath that. And if they knock something and the whole fucking rack fell, like,
yeah, you just get a crane.
Yeah, it's going to suck. But the other thing though, too, is the refrigeration lines. Like, they come up in a specific spot. So what are the odds I'm going to get that rack in the identical spot to where when you cut them, they line back up? Or I'm going to have to like offset. Like, dude, it's just going to be a pain in the ass, but we'll figure it out. But
I got an idea.
What's that?
Why don't you just build a gutter inside the building?
I mean,
drain it over to a slop sink. You know what I mean?
Oh my god!
You know what they say: when in Rome.
That would be not my problem, is what that would be. My only thing with this job is literally going to be lifting up the rack, cutting the lines, letting the roofer do his shit, and putting the rack back and putting him. I'm not,
Yeah, because you're gonna have to have a crane for 2 days because it could take the roofer all day to do that at least.
Yeah, this particular customer is going to be like, we need it done overnight. And I'm going to say, just like I said last time, I don't do night work. Find someone else. Like, I hate to be that guy.
That crane operator probably doesn't do night work either. So
no, they'll have to set it on the ground and then come back after the guy's done. Put it back up. But it's all their refrigeration.
Yeah.
So remember, that's their rack for it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circuits in it. So 7 compressors, 7 condensers.
Walk-in coolers on this? Walk-in freezers?
Walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer, beer walk-in.
Shut the restaurant down then.
Yeah, all 4. Yeah. So they saved $10,000 by buying these units and island units and buying built refrigeration racks rather than individually building individual reach-ins, individual remote condensing unit, because they spent more money, so they save money in the short term, but in the long run, they're going to get fucked.
I'll bet you that entire process, your labor, crane cost, roofer, shit, that's $150,000, $200,000.
Nah, I mean, not for me. My cost on that job is probably going to be $4,000, less than that. Like, yeah. I'm not.
Chris is fair. I gotta admit, he's always fair with the prices. I have to admit, he's pretty fair.
So maybe we're talking like 50 when it's all said and done. I'm sure cranes aren't cheap down there. You're talking what, 3, 4, 5 grand?
That much?
No.
Shit, it's at least $2,000 here for a day for a crane.
Your cranes are insane, bro, because I pay a 3-hour minimum. I'm going to pay probably $600 for a 35-ton crane.
Well, you got to think Bill's company is hiring a union crane company.
Yeah.
You know, and those guys like take naps in the parking lot before the
We get breaks before our nap. And then
I had one time I ordered for a customer I don't service anymore. So anyways, but I ordered a crane and we had to go with because the shopping mall it was in, it was a freaking dumpster fire, the paperwork we had to go through. And the mall had all these insurance requirements and all this crap that we have, but the crane operators oftentimes don't have enough insurance. So anyways, we had to hire a specific crane operator. And they had to send their smallest crane because they were like a giant construction crane company. Dude, their smallest crane, it pulls up. And I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with that thing, dude? It was fucking huge, man. Like, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it. He's like, we'll be done in, whatever. But yeah, that thing was giant. And it's like, dude, I'm lifting a 7.5 ton. And this thing's like a freaking, I don't even know, dude. Probably like a 75 ton. I mean, was their smallest, dude. It was a big ass crane, dude. It basically, it had weights to add to the back and shit like that. Like it was one of those, so.
We have a customer that has, they're replacing, I think they're called the IntelliPack units, these big, massive train units. Like it's the size of a fucking double wide trailer house.
Boxcar units.
And they're replacing 2 of those. And it's a real tall building in downtown Detroit too. I don't know what kind of crane they plan on using for that. Like it's going to be massive. I know they're in the process of planning this out now. They're planning on closing down 2 streets just for the crane to get in there, set up with all the rigging and everything. Like, so I don't know. I hope I'm involved in this because it sounds like it's going to be awesome. I'd love to be part of a helicopter lift someday.
Yeah. Same. So never done a helicopter lift. I think I've told this story before, but we quoted one. And we didn't get the job. It was for another shopping mall. It was going to be cheaper to use a helicopter because we had to set the ACs. We quoted it. We didn't get the job, whatever. Years later, I was talking to the facilities manager because I still worked for that restaurant chain for years. And he was like, that job at that mall? He's like, we should have gone with you. And I'm like, why? And he goes, you were, what did he say? Like $7,000 more than the other company. It was pennies comparative because the other company used a helicopter but didn't pull permits. Like who the fuck decides to use a helicopter without pulling permits? Like, what are you thinking? And they were in the airspace of Los Angeles International Airport. So they had to get FAA clearance and all kinds of stuff, but they didn't pull city permits to do dude, the restaurant got fined and the contractor got fined. And the restaurant told us like that money that we saved by not using you and we were going to pull permits. We'd never done one. We probably would have lost our asses on that job. That was our first helicopter lift we were ever going to do, but we were going to do it right. Like
I wonder what the fines cost.
I think that I heard through the grapevine, the restaurant, it was like 10 grand, 15 grand that the restaurant had to pay. And then also the contractor, I'm sure, had to pay something too.
So we did a sketchy job once in Chicago. Where it was like a 5-ish story building that we were installing a VRV, like 2 10-ton VRV systems on. And like this is Chicago. We didn't get the permits to close the roads. And we brought in the crane and we like waited for super light traffic. We're just stop the cars, like hurry up. We did it. The freaking the general contractor, whoa, dude, he freaking read us the riot act. We never got in trouble from Chicago. We got away with it, no problem.
Really?
The job was permitted, but it was like a huge process to shut down the street in Chicago. So we're like, yeah, screw that.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I quoted to shut down a main road in Ann Arbor once, which is a big city in Michigan here, for those that don't know. And all we had to do was we were quoting to replace a water heater up in a building somewhere, but the only access we had was like on a side street, but it was like a main street. It was a very busy street, and we had to park trucks there and vans and everything. And it was just to get vans there, you have to call in, get special permits to get special parking, and they have to close off part of the road if you want to bring in like a steak truck or a box truck or anything, just for a water heater.
That's ridiculous.
Somebody mentioned tarps and whatever inside. It's funny because when I was out with the other company there, I think I mentioned on the show, there was a company that had a huge logistic company. They had a cooler, and they had the temperature so low and it was undersized and going through the cords because they screwed up. So every so often, there's no way we could keep those evaporators from stop freezing. So I mentioned it. Well, we could put tarps up. So they didn't call us for a bit. And I realized when I went back there, that's what they did. They got their maintenance guys. They put tarps there. So every so often, the evaporator freezes and doesn't kill everything. And they just have tarps collecting to a drain. I wonder if they ever fixed that job. But anyways, yeah. It's crazy.
Rich B from Chicago, huh?
Who?
Rich B. Crazy Eyes.
Crazy Eyes.
Hey. I got new tool, my latest pickup tools. I got these, and I already used them.
Did you get the pressure ones? Are you still waiting for me to
just
pressure
temperature? I'm still waiting for you to send me some kind of pressure, and I'll pay you whatever. But I got these, and honestly, I'm not gonna say a name because they don't give us anything. No, but I love the display. Honestly, I'm just a sucker for that display now. I love the display.
Man. They're way the fudge too big.
Joe got it for boiler pipes. He wants to be able to check boiler pipes.
Oh, okay. Well,
boiler, right? That's where it's easy, and they are they're Mister that you could put on anything. Yeah, they're Mister. Yeah. You can put on any material. So I've already used them. They go up to 1 5/8, I think. Great. Honestly,
so it's 1.5 ID for the boiler people in the world.
Right. You write that down.
I wonder if anybody a lot of guys in the chat got these new display. I'm not gonna vouch for the rest of the stuff they have because obviously Field Piece kicks ass, but to me anyways, or Testo, but
dude,
for just simple clamps.
There's been a lot of crap talking on social media about Field Pieces.
I
combustion
saw
analyzer.
that. Yes, I feel bad.
I've been seeing a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sucks. I feel bad too. Like, it's a bummer.
Well, yeah, I wonder how that's going to shake out. They're coming out with a new model supposedly, but I mean that's something you have to be accurate in, right? So,
oh, that's what they're saying. They're not accurate.
Hey, Nasty says Pittsburgh new refrigeration probes look pretty cool.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Harbor Freight, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say like the Harbor Freight brand.
What?
I bet you anything Navac makes them. Navac makes everything.
Yeah. I was shopping around this week for a super special tool pouch. So I was working up on a lift earlier. Pack. So I was working up on a lift earlier this week, and I had my harness on only because the site made me. This is a scissor lift, so OSHA doesn't require to wear harnesses all the time. But anyway, I had the strap went around my chest on this particular harness, and as I'm working, it was just easier to like just jam the tools in this chest strap instead of like bending down to the floor of the lift every time I needed a tool. I was like, man, if I just had like an open top like chest pouch or something, that'd be awesome. I couldn't find one though. Like I searched all over the place. All I could find was like super gay looking ones on Amazon or highly expensive ones from Atlas.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I told you to check the Atlas stuff, but you said it was. I haven't looked. It's super pricey, huh?
$160 for a chest pack.
I got one of those Atlas vests, and you can like customize the Atlas stuff. Did you see that you can customize it, Bill?
No. As soon as I saw the price tag, I'm like, yeah, it's too.
What happened? There used to be a YouTuber dude that would open up his work truck, and he had like everything Atlas. He had the chest thing, and his truck he was like the first person to have like the perfect Milwaukee trucks and all that shit. This was from years ago.
No idea.
Anyway, I bought. One thing I did for a long time when I was doing ductwork jobs, I hate tool belts. I feel like they're always pulling my pants down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my pants are always falling off. They're just annoying. So like I never had any tool belts, and I would just like pick up tools, put down tools, pick up, and it's like, it sucks. Like you're constantly picking things up all the time, right? So I bought one of those Atlas. What are they? Atlas 46. They're called, Chris. Is that right?
Yeah, 46, I think.
I bought like a vest, and you can get all these different attachments. And I was sitting there, and this is when I was still drinking, so I'm sure I was like half in the bag,
I
sitting
think
there laying
that's
there.
because I was thinking about buying one too, and you were showing it to me, and I'm like,
I bought every accessory that you could possibly get for the thing, and I hooked it all up, and I filled it all up with tools. I'm like,
Oh yeah, right.
this freaking sucks. This is
No
awful.
kidding.
I felt like I was Rambo going to
Sell it to me at a discount. I'll buy it. I mean,
Well,
there's probably like pockets towards the top. Like that would be kind of what I'm thinking. Like,
yeah, you don't need to put all the
Atlas ones
attachments on
too.
it.
Couldn't you put the cooling packs in it and stuff? I think so.
I
I think they have cooling pack. You would like freeze those ice packs and put them inside. Top Gun HVACR on Instagram. He said he just did his first helicopter lift. He did 2 of them. I saw your Instagram post about that, where it was the 2
cool.
helicopter lift thing.
Who did that?
Top Gun HVACR.
Top Gun.
Awesome.
I believe he works for Ontario Refrigeration, which is a local company, but I believe he works in a northern division up in kind of Northern California.
But I ended up finding this this open top tool pouch over at Home Depot, some off-brand, I don't know what Firm Grip or something stupid anyway, but it's this nice leather pouch, and it's like I said, open top. It's got a belt clip on there. I slap it on my belt, and I can just like throw shit in there, and it's got a drawstring if you want to like close the top. But I was using that today because I was working on a lift again. It's super easy. No more bending over. Just throw the shit that I need in my tool pouch there, fill it full of zip ties, whatever I needed. Super convenient.
Nice.
One thing that I bought that is pretty cool, but I haven't used it in a long time. I think it's by a company called Hostery or something like that. Hostery.
Never
There's a
heard of it.
kangaroo on it. But anyways, it's this thing that you slide on your belt. And it's not big whatsoever, but it's a rare earth magnet. So you just take your tools and freaking stick it to your side. What do you think about that?
I thought about something like that with a magnet sort of chest pack where I could just slap things on. But I also want something to hold little screws and like, so I don't know. That wouldn't work for
Somebody was asking, sorry, Bill, the comparison between the JB display and the Hvac display, and I think Chris has them both, so he could answer that. But
so the JB display, really interesting, weird problem that I found with them. The JB display looks great, but if you put on your sunglasses and they happen to be polarized, you can't see it. The display is like this monochromic, whatever, something or other, monochromatic or something. It's something weird. And when you have polarized glasses, you can't see it, and it's annoying in the sunlight. So that's like my quirk about the JB probes.
JBs look a little bigger, right? Because they have the charging port for the pressure probe.
Navacs are freaking huge, bro.
Even with the charging port on the
Navacs
JBs,
are bigger than the JBs, dude. Navacs are square. They're a good inch and a half by inch and a half, maybe even 2 inches by 2 inches. They're square and they're tall. So the JBs have the stupid pass-through ports or whatever, but
that's right.
Yeah.
Did you see? I saw a video. UEI has probes now, and those things look huge. Huge.
That's right.
Huge.
Yeah, I said something on my live stream last week about like Fieldpiece doesn't have overall competition with their pressure probes right now because they're so ergonomic. They fit in your hands. They fit where they need to fit. I put a T on them with they're just great, but they're missing a display. So Hvac is
what?
They're innovating.
I don't agree. Agree.
You don't like the Fieldpiece probes?
No, I do like them a lot, but I don't care about the display as much. I think more importantly, I'd rather not use a T and have that charging port built into the probe.
Yeah, I don't want that. So, and here's why though, for me, is because the probes are constantly going into a reach-in cooler and ice machine, and the ports have to be turned. So I use a charging T that I put on from JB, and I put the Appion core depressor on there. And with those 2 things, I can manipulate that probe and the pressure port to go anywhere. If you have the one with the pass-through port, you're restricted to that one angle going to a service port, and it doesn't fit sometimes. So you got to be able to articulate that stuff. I just like the field piece because they feel good in your hand and they feel solid. They don't feel like cheap plastic.
Even the distance is still pretty good. Yeah. Sorry.
I just wish they had
distance is nice.
Oh, the distance is the best.
So what do you like that? Have you used, because I've only had the AccuTools core depressor. How does that, do you like the Appian better, or have you used both?
Yeah, the Appion's a lot better. The only thing you have to be really careful about, well, first off, they're expensive as hell.
Yes.
So I have no idea what I've spent on my tools over the years, but I think I was showed in a video that I had enough probes to do 3 compressors, and I had like all the clamps and everything, and I was calibrating them, and someone was like, dude, that's like a couple grand worth of probes. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
I don't even know, because at the time the JobLink probes probably only cost $400 when I bought them. I have so many sets. Now they're like $8 or $1,000 or something.
Yo.
So what's up, Jessica?
Since those Appions, the ones you have, Chris, as well, the core depressors, since those came out and I got them, I never use the small hoses anymore. They're like so ideal. It's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Now,
did you ever click go live on Instagram?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh,
yeah, we're talking. That's why I was talking about the dude with the helicopter lift. I remembered.
So backtrack. The reason why I got these too is because that gentleman there, the caravan, got a huge set, and I told him to get a set because he needs probes. Anyways, so I got this along with it. So I've got a pretty good deal. But do you ever have to explain to somebody for the first time how they use probes and how to attach T's for charging or for vacuuming or whatever? Like it's not, it's a little bit to it. If you don't know, oh, you got to keep this. Oh, you got to valve it off there. It's a little bit of explaining compared to the standard manifold for sure. Oh, you got to get this. You got to get this. Oh, you need that. It's fun.
And that's why I'm also not one of those people that's going to shit on someone for using a micron gauge and a manifold. As long as you know that it's not 100% the right way, sometimes you got to do what you got to do because of weird situations. Now, is it, and I talk about it all the time when I use a micron or when I use my manifold to pull a vacuum. I always say to my videos, like, I know this isn't right, but it's a pump down system. What's the point? I'm pulling against a receiver, pull a gas. It's pulling gas out of that receiver the whole time I'm vacuuming it. Like, there's no,
I had to work on a Liebert system this week. I had to replace the unloaders on both the Lieberts, and I isolated the line set, isolated the compressor, and I just moved the refrigerant with my recovery machine, moved the refrigerant out of the compressor and the little bit of line set going up to the unloader and put it back in the below. And then I just snipped the lines on the unloader, and you could just hear this like hissing of refrigerant coming through because the valves closing down all the way. And I was thinking the same thing. Like when I was done, I ended up just brazing it in kind of live. I just opened up my gauges, let the little bit of refrigerant piss out of the service ports as I brazed it in there. I caught a little bit of phosgene gas, but same thing. Like when I was done, like, what am I going to pull a vacuum on there? Am I going to pressure test it with nitrogen?
Yeah.
Like
all that I do is I'm just pulling the immediate air out of there. I'm removing as much, and then it's not going to pull down perfect because it's not a dry, completely open system. And we can also make an argument too about so let's say I have a refrigeration system that I made a repair on, and I recovered all the gas out of it. So there's no gas in the system, right? And it's time to pull a vacuum. You're never going to get a perfect vacuum. That oil's been in operation for years. It's full of refrigerant. It's going to take forever to get all that out of the oil. It's just not practical. You do what you can, do your best. As long as you know the right way to do things, and you try to do your best. That's what we got to do.
Hey, tell Craig we're pulling for him. Hopefully he gets better.
What's wrong with him?
He said Jessica said he had some sort of heart event.
Oh my gosh.
He's in the hospital right now.
Craig is, tell Craig I said hello. Hopefully everything goes well. Dude, Craig was telling some crazy freaking, I don't even know if Jessica was there. I probably shouldn't repeat it. Should I repeat it? Screw it.
Yeah, might as well.
He had some crazy stripper stories from before. I'm not going to tell the stories, but she's probably heard them. They were good.
I mean, is that how they met?
It was before they met. He was telling, and it was really weird because David Richardson, my boss, was sitting right next to me at the symposium, and he was telling these freaking crazy stories, and I'm just like, can't laugh.
She's saying the 202 story, whatever that is.
Some more pictures here.
Did you get new pants
Yeah.
or something? Who did that?
No, he said Clive said Google holstery. He said trousers. We call them pants here.
Pants,
but
yeah.
I think they're the same thing, right?
Trousers, pants, yeah.
Schlacks. Is that what they call them? Is that what the fancy kids call them? Schlacks.
Schlackers.
I think trousers, yeah.
It's funny because I buy Duluth pants, right? And they have like a special Velcro thing on the side where you can put those tool belt things on. And I bought a few of them. They're just the small holders. And I think I used them maybe once ever. I should try them out again.
Yeah, I can't do Duluth pants anymore.
Why?
I don't know.
Heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy. They shrink all weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're durable. I also
the freaking knee pads are what sells me on them.
Sure.
I mean, I got a kneeling pad. Like, I don't know. It feels weird to have knee pads inside your pants all day.
It is annoying, in my opinion.
But
very much annoying.
The pants that I like wearing, they're not very durable, but they fit great, and they're cargo pants. But like I said, they're Union Bay. I buy them off Amazon. Super comfortable, but I mean, they just don't last because they're thin and lightweight. And
I'm gonna go grab something real quick. I'll be right back.
I didn't think you called them underpants in the UK, Clive. I thought you called them like, what do they call them, like breeches or something?
Breeches.
What is another word? Skivvies. Skivvies. No.
Where's my breeches at?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, Clive says built-in knee pads are common there.
I love them. I couldn't live without them. Once you start, like, I'm too old. I think I'm just done. I can't do it.
It's also common there. Some glory holes. So maybe that's why.
That's why. Yeah. They work together in tandem.
It's probably like a law. You have to have knee pads in your pants in case you stumble upon a glory hole.
Let me pull this picture up real quick. I want to tell you guys something. So I had another interesting thing. My restaurants, we have exhaust fans, and the exhaust fans, obviously you have to have them cleaned because grease builds up inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a customer. Let me share
this picture.
We have a customer.
The metal butthole.
Let me see here. Where's this at? Is this? Oh, this one right here. Okay. Oh, wait. No, I don't think we want to do that. We want to do this entire screen. Is there anything bad on that picture? No. All right. So we have a customer that they have an exhaust fan that had grease all over the roof, like all underneath.
What are you trying to show us? This is a blank screen.
Oh, damn it. Hold on. Come on. What are we doing here? That's stupid.
You guys are just going to let him talk through this?
Yeah, you're going to let me
I didn't know if it was like...
I thought he was building us up and like going to just pop it on the screen for suspense or something.
No, that didn't work. How can I do this? Why isn't it working? Let me pull this up. Why isn't that going over? Oh, God damn it. This is stupid.
Found the boomer.
Bill, what's your hand tattoo, Bill?
This one?
Yeah, what is it?
A clipper ship.
Nice.
Okay,
When'd you get that? That's not that old, right?
It gets deeper and deeper every time.
Huh?
A year or so?
Huh.
I figured it out now. All right, here you go.
What's that?
Can I fucking figure this out?
What is that? Oh, lighthouse?
Lighthouse.
All right. So we have an exhaust fan. They have
there's a problem right there. It's tipped over.
Hinges so you can clean them, but you see all the grease on the roof. The grease cleaner said the exhaust fan is leaking profuse amounts of grease. It needs to be repaired. So I go out there, and what I find is that in the top right of this picture, if you look in the shadow of the exhaust fan, you can see a little round light coming through on the bottom of the fan. And I'm going to show you another picture right now. And let's see if this, I wish that this would let me do that. It doesn't. But on the bottom of the fan, hold on. There you go. There is a hole right there.
Right.
Some might call that a glory
Is that a
hole.
grease trap thingy?
No, there used to be a plug in that hole, and the grease cleaners pulled it out because they were scraping the inside of the fan, and they left it on the ground. There was a plug just laying on the ground. So basically, it was just the grease was just running out of the exhaust fan. And if I pull this up right now, You could see like this was another one. I had to go get an electrical EMT plug for the bottom of the fan right there, silicone it in, but I had to clean it, dry it. The fan has grease all over it. Like, and it's all because, watch, I have this picture right here. This is what is supposed to be in here, is right here. There's a little rubber plug and it's siliconed in there, but the guy's just fucking
a little pile of silicone. That's
on the bottom. Now, I'm also pissed off at the exhaust manufacturer that's a factory thing from the exhaust company. Like, how stupid is that when the grease cleaners come in with their scrapers and they go to clean it? You know, like there's just going to be stuff everywhere. But I had to get interesting because on the rubber plug, which I actually have it right here in my hand, the little rubber plug, it was siliconed in, but it was really difficult to get the silicone to stick because there's grease on that fan. So what do? So I went to Home Depot or Lowe's and I found a plug.
Oh, nice.
I cleaned the top of the fan as good as I could, like scrubbed it all down on both sides, went and got that plug, covered it. My whole hand was covered in silicone, put silicone all inside there, shoved that down on the silicone. That's just a plug, a 1.5 inch EMT ring or whatever on there to tighten it on. And let's hope it solves the problem. But yeah,
so
dude,
I got a question. I got a tech support question for you.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying it's leaking too much grease. What's supposed to happen to the grease? I'm not familiar with this.
We have a collection box that, hold on, I actually have a picture of this. Let me stop sharing because I got to be careful these pictures that I share.
Oh,
let me look at a picture really quick.
These are your and Jill's unmentionables.
Not even that. All right. So, yeah, this one will be good. And
nasty rubber plugs and silicone are my favorite to put in dry and dirty holes.
Now, this is also really stupid because this customer wants these exhaust fans trapped like this, and this is really dumb. But I'll pull this picture up again. So we install a grease trap on the exhaust fan, and then there's a PVC pipe coming out of the fan that goes into the trap. And I no longer use these fans because of how stupid they are. We use a different brand, but this is what you have to do with that particular fan. If you look at it, let me pull this over here. So you've got a tube coming out the bottom of the fan, and then it goes into a collector box that absorbs the grease. And they basically have a grease cleaning company that comes and cleans out those collector boxes. But this one,
I don't know about you.
Good.
No, I don't know about you. Every time I come across one of those, they're always not that. So a lot of them are not even dirty. It's like the grease doesn't make it there or something, but it's like they don't even work. I don't know.
Well, okay, so no, if they're not dirty, that's good because the grease shouldn't make it to the roof. The grease should be intercepted by the hood filters down at the hoods.
That's a good point.
It's full.
Yeah.
But if you go up onto the roof and it's making up, usually that happens. So this particular restaurant chain, they didn't used to have this much grease. And it's only on their flat top that it gets that greasy. And that's where they cook their burgers. They changed the burgers and they went to a higher fat content to get them more flavorful. And that fat is becoming aerosolized. And then when it cooks, and then it just goes right up through their shitty hood filters because they don't use good hood filters. And it doesn't catch it. So it makes it all the way to the roof. So yeah, they should have their hood filters. It should be catching the grease, and then it should drain into a pan down in the.
Is it possible that it's too much airflow going through that hood?
Yeah, but also it's the issue is that the heat and the smoke. You have to get the heat and the smoke out. So sometimes the grease is a byproduct. For instance, I don't work for. Have you guys ever heard of The Habit, the burger chain?
No.
Okay, so it's like a West Coast thing, and they're. But anyways, they are notorious for having their exhaust fans are just covered in grease, and it's just because of their fat content. Like I've heard from a lot of people, their exhaust fans just get destroyed with the grease. I go with Greenheck fans now. So this is a Cook fan, and I don't like, they're just not good. The way they assemble them, using plugs to plug a hole is just stupid. You know, like that's just dumb. And so we go with Greenheck fans. They're much easier to clean. They work better.
I'm wondering though, like you said, like the fat content in that, like I'm really wondering though, if that's more on the engineering side, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, well, what type of filter are they using? How much airflow is moving up the hood? You know what I mean? Like, could that be prevented no matter what they're actually cooking?
Yes,
right?
it could be prevented, but the problem with chain restaurants is they don't make a consistent product for 30 years in a row. They change their food all the time. They're constantly evolving their menu. They might sell burgers today, and then they get rid of burgers, and now they sell chicken wings tomorrow. They have to be able to pivot. So yes, if they had a specific kitchen that specifically made the same product all the time, they could engineer a system to extract the grease, do everything right, but they always pivot and change everything about these restaurants. So
here, change the subject. Did Hambone message you guys in the last couple days?
Yeah, video.
Don't know, maybe.
Yeah, he
He
showed
showed
me
you the
something.
freaking huh?
Yeah, he showed me something. I think yesterday or today. What was it? It was crazy. Can't remember what it is now.
The freaking he made a life-size version of the game
Oh.
Operation.
Yeah, that's what he
He
showed.
made that.
I don't know if I saw that.
I think he did
That
the
was-
electrical on it.
That's epic. I loved it.
It looked freaking like the real thing.
Yeah, it was awesome. That's a cool game to bring somewhere. You know what I mean? That size. That's awesome.
It's the size of a pool table, man.
You could probably use that as a makeshift,
No, I don't.
No, I
glory
don't.
hole.
Textile.
Stand behind it on the backside.
Yeah. An
Oh my
electrified glory hole.
If you miss it,
Makes it a
yeah.
little bit more interesting,
True. You
I
miss
wonder
it, you get
what
zapped.
like that one. Like it's hooked up to 480 and it blows you across the room. If you
At least somebody's getting blowed. Blown. What?
They deserve it.
yeah, I'd like to
Jeez.
meet them.
I realized the other day, I sent you guys a little clip. For us, it just comes natural now because you've just been doing it for so long. But sometimes, even using just acetylene, like a turbo torch, with somebody like a newer bee, it could
What
be
the hell's
kind
a
of
newer
hard.
bee?
A newbie.
Oh.
It could be
So wait, a
challenging
new
too.
bee is not new enough. We have to have a newer bee.
Yeah, we'll change it up a bit. We gotta be different. Because you and I know when you put something like a heat block or whatever on something, it could absorb a lot of heat and it makes it challenging. So I left to go down. So I'm gonna leave him putting this filter dryer in. So I just put a little bit of just on the base of the filter, and I let him do it. And I could tell he's struggling, like it's just it's not taking right, and it's just funny that it's a learning curve too. Even turbo torch, you think it's easier.
Yeah,
It's not
first
as
off,
hot
I don't
sometimes.
like turbo torch, and this is probably an autistic thing, but I don't like it because it's loud. It bothers me how loud they
Absolutely.
are, and I like an oxyacetylene because it's not as loud. But oxyacetylene, obviously, I can pinpoint the heat more, it can get hotter. But just the sound alone, like I hate using a map gas torch too, but I have to. But yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to try one of those. Like you see those kits of those mini oxyacetylene.
I don't.
Chris told me not to.
I don't. Okay, you have to buy the tanks. You
Yeah.
can't get them refilled, so you
Right.
have to buy them from one supplier.
Yeah,
How long do
much are
those
they?
last? Come
They
on.
control the prices, dude. I mean,
right.
you can buy acetylene from any gas place. You can exchange it at your supply houses. And then what happens if, like, again, I'm always a worst case scenario. So what happens if you run out of those
A job.
That's true.
in the middle of a
Mhm.
job and you need acetylene? You can go open a supply house and get acetylene, and even in the middle of the night, but you're not going to open I mean, I guess if the supply house stocks the tanks, sure, but you're only buying them from one place. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't think, maybe I'm just being stubborn, but like a zero tip on an oxyacetylene thing is a small enough flame that I can braise a good majority of everything. I don't need a micro torch to get in there.
I just hate like carrying the whole freaking kit around.
Fair point.
That's one of the reasons why I like the turbo torch.
Turbo torch? Yeah.
And you know what? Vito has like a really nice bag that you like a torch kit type of bag now, which is
I want it
Or a
Yeah, I
turbo
want it.
torch
I'm
or
waiting.
oxyacetylene.
for turbo. I think they have both
for a turbo
actually.
torch.
Yeah. I'd like to see the one for oxyacetylene.
It hasn't
Hmm.
come here
I'm
yet.
surprised if Vito actually comes out with one, or are they because it seems like a liability to say that they make a torch caddy.
It's not.
yeah.
It's not like technically. I don't think it is a torch
Okay,
caddy,
right.
but you could tell it's a torch caddy.
Got it. Because I know
Yeah.
some people were doing that. They were like filling their stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think someone could get behind that because there's too much liability in that.
Brian says oxygen acetylene tanks are the best. I use nothing less. Map gas is for homeowners. I don't even use it. Maybe not map gas. How about just acetylene and turbo torch? Yeah, honestly, I'm an oxyacetylene kind of guy too. But just sometimes when you're by yourself, just
if I'm
one
doing
tank,
just a few plumbing things, I'm usually not going to break out oxyacetylene for that. I'm going to use a map gas torch for plumbing and stuff.
For plumbing,
I press a lot of plumbing, but if I'm getting in there doing a lot of brazing, I'm not going to waste my time with a map gas that can only get so hot, or turbo torch. That, yeah, I'd rather that the heat isn't pinpointed enough when I'm doing dissimilar metals with a turbo torch. Like, I just don't care for it. But to each their own. Some people like them,
So yeah, when I was brazing in those unloaders and those Lieberts, I had all this wiring around them, and I didn't want to cut it and move it and like do all this other stuff. I got it in there, I brazed it in there, didn't melt a single wire.
Nice.
Yeah.
How big was the tubing?
Smaller. 5/8 sounds about right.
Yeah. Good. At least it wasn't huge.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it was just a tight spot.
Yeah, I know, especially in Liebers.
And like down at the stub, where the stub came down, is like right behind an insulated suction line. So you kind of have to like just get the tip of the torch like right in there and then just flow it around.
Was there any like I don't know, transducers, anything nearby, sensors or anything that you could fry?
Yeah,
on the lines. Yeah.
There's a
use anything or
no? He said screw it.
I use my wet rag on the solenoid itself.
Okay.
I mean, I wrap the solenoid, the coil, or I wrap the solenoid and then put my magnet on there just to keep it open. And
some of these guys have some crazy freaking profile pictures, huh?
Yeah. They're unique.
I don't look at profile. Like I you have to double click on them, right, to see them.
You just go like this.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So, anyways,
man, I'm tired. This week is just exhausting me.
What else did you do this week, Bill? Anything interesting or?
No, nothing too crazy. It was a pretty chill week. That's why I don't really know why I'm so fucking exhausted.
You're just depressed.
Yeah,
like everybody else.
This brutal winter in Michigan and
can't wait.
Sunshine.
Can't turn on the TV without being even depressed more.
I know.
What though? And you can't. Chris does not talk about government. Don't talk to him about that.
I don't care about. You can talk about government. Adam's mad because I take a perspective that I'm always questioning the other side's perspective. I'm not making it a judgment. I'm just like, when Adam gives a point, I'm like, well, I see the other side would say this or say that, but
he's always the devil's advocate.
I just always look at it that way. I always wonder, like, what's the other side thinking? I'm not saying that I agree with them, because I don't agree with half the shit going on right now.
This is the craziest time of my life.
God, I can't even imagine that.
That would be awful.
Oh my God. Don't even. We don't need that kind of juju. Now watch. Is she?
I hope not. I hope not. If that's the case, the doctor messed up the tube tying process.
I've heard that shit can get messed up. So
yeah. Well,
and I heard you got to get it rechecked to make sure you're still shooting blanks like a couple years later.
Son of a bitch.
Gotta go in for routine inspections because immaculate conception or something shit can happen and you just start shooting full regular rounds.
I went for a consultation for that once, and then I got freaked out. I actually went in. They're like, "You have to come in here first for the preliminary." Did you do a consultation, Bill?
Oh, I didn't get my tubes tied. She got her tubes tied.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot
How'd
worse
you
of a
swing
situation.
that one, bro. I brought that up one time. I was like, they're in there fixing shit. They should just do that. And I got in trouble for that.
Yeah, because I mean, they were already in there taking a baby out. So I'm like, hey, why don't you just double knot them little bad boys right there?
And, I got in trouble for that shit.
The Winata.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I mean, they're already in there messing around, poking things and stuff. So like, just fucking tie them up.
Yeah.
Clive says.
So
Clive
listen to
says,
this.
hold on.
Go
Just
ahead.
be a gay virgin like me. It saves lots of complications.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I mean, he makes a strong argument.
It's true.
He sure does.
So when I went, listen to this. When I went in for the consultation, I just thought you were like talking through. I thought they were gonna be like, "Listen, you really need to think this through. You know, this is serious." Blah blah blah. And so I went in there, and you wait in the waiting room, and then you're like, "Okay, the doctor's ready to see you." I walk in, it's a female doctor. All right.
Oh,
And then she starts talking to me for like 30 seconds. She's like, "Pull your pants down." And I'm like, "What? Like, I thought we were just here to talk today. What's going on?"
Nope. Show me what you're working with.
So she comes over by me. I drop my pants down. I'm like, "I have to warn you, I didn't shave." And she like gave me the most dirty look I've ever seen anyone give ever in my life.
Oh, man,
I'm like, was that the wrong thing to say?
she had to inspect your sit so she knew how much to quote. She's like, "Oh, this is gonna be a cheap quote. We're good.
Yeah.
We're in and out in no time."
Not working with much here, Doc.
When was the last time you walked your ball sack?
She said it's one of those things. It was just a bush.
Hold on, let me see what's going on in there.
Oh god, yes. I
I
can't
swear
help
the
but think.
opposite side of your ball sack looks like a mud flap. What's going on?
I can't help but think of in the movie The Hangover when the Asian dude jumps out of the trunk. Isn't he butt naked? Or at one point he gets butt naked, and yeah, no, that's pretty funny.
Oh man,
That's a true story.
That is hilarious. I do remember that story too.
it's
Yeah.
so awkward. Even at doctors where they've seen a million like genitalias, it's still so weird.
Hmm.
I had to get my undercarriage inspected a few times from the doc, and every time I'm like, oh man, oh yeah. I went to the
It
casting.
felt like the beginning of one of those movies, you know?
Yeah, I bet.
We saw the
Before we leave, I
world
was going to ask you
was
guys.
turning back then.
I think Adam has it. Testo 300 ever smoked the CO yet? Sensor? Yeah.
I don't have a testo.
Oh, okay. Thought you had one at one time. Anybody? Today I billed 2.5 to this other contractor who was having some troubles on a Lockener. He just replaced a burner.
Is that supposed to be a Lockener or Lockenbar?
Lock and bar.
Locking bar? Who knows? You know, Canadian. So he smoked his. He didn't smoke it. I guess it just resets. He has one of those TFI ones, anyways. And I go look inside of it, and he was waiting for it to cool off. I go look inside of this thing, running, and it's like glowing. I'm like, dude. But I didn't obviously say that. He's an older gentleman, burner guy. Anyways. So I'm like, let's wait till it cool off. Bring it back a bit. Put mine in, and it seems like it was okay. It was just way off. CO2
What was
matched up. I guess he just the ratio. He was screwing up with the low side ratio, like huge. It was like glowing. The burner was glowing, orange, like glowing.
So
glowing.
like he set it up like that?
Yeah, he took it apart. He put it back together, cleaned it out, whatever. Changed the gaskets, changed the burner, and he was putting an analyzer on it. And he smoked his analyzer. I'm like, oh.
So
shit,
what
okay.
what was so you readjusted the valve?
Well, he was there. I used my analyzer because that was his job. So I brought my analyzer. I go, well, let's bring it back a bit before we put the analyzer in there again. So we put mine in right away. Mine went off an alarm. It wasn't adjusted enough. I'm like, look at this thing. It's glowing. So I went up there and I could see it almost from the sight glass, and it's glowing. And so we waited again. He put it back a bit. And then my analyzer was reading all the measurements but the ppm. So I was like, you know what, did I smoke my CO2 sensor?
CO2 or CO?
Sorry, CO sensor. I'm like, oh shit. And then we put his.
Well, let me
back
ask you
into-
this. Hold on
Yeah.
a second. Press pause. Let's finish the story in a second.
Let's do it.
When you guys pulled them out,
Yeah.
did you shut off your analyzer or did you leave it running?
I left it running once and I shut it off once. I did both.
All right, let me give you a tip. And anyone in here that does combustion, if you spike your analyzer, pull it out. Do not
of course.
shut it off. That's how you kill a sensor. You leave it
Thank
running
God.
until it zeroes itself out again. You know?
Now I did that. Okay. So I did that the first time, and then we put his back in because his seemed like it recalibrate. I guess we brought it outside the room, and then it was working. And it said 0 ppm, and the CO2 was matched up. Oxygen's pretty on par. But then I was thinking, okay, let me put mine back in, and it was reading the same thing. Okay, we're satisfied. Then okay, we're gonna ready to tighten it up. I go, let me check the other boiler beside it just in case, because we didn't do nothing to it. Let me just see how it's reading. And my analyzer wouldn't read zero, like it wouldn't what's it called? You know, what's
Reset.
zeroing.
So
Yeah.
one thing, so you were showing CO still, right?
No, it wasn't showing any ppm CO,
Zero.
but it just kept on recycling the zero and zero and zero and zero, like all the time. And then I'm like, oh my god, did I smoke it here?
What was your O2 on that? When you
It's
guys
probably
were
like it was like 8 low fire 8.5 probably, and
on a
CO2.
like a condensing boiler like that.
Yeah,
So 8. I mean, was it in high fire?
low fire. So he says, and it was low fire because it's 25%, 20%. It was low fire. Yeah.
I would crank
I
that bad
believe
boy up. Well, you know what? I wonder what the
It looked a lot
manufacturer
better.
says.
And that's what the manufacturer was usually around the same, anyways. No matter what condensate boiler, really, they're kind of usually around the same thing, you know.
If
The
I
CO2
remember
and
correctly,
oxygen.
like Weil McLean condensing boilers, they say set your combustion on high fire on 100%. There's actually a manual, like you got to go in the back end to get it to lock in, but then they want you to test it, you know, let it modulate down and actually look at what it's at.
Right.
So
Yeah, give it some time. I don't know. Does it make sense that your CO2s are on like, you know, perfect? O2 is pretty close with no ppm, I guess.
CO or CO2? What are we talking about here?
Right, CO2 good, O2 good, but CO ppm combustion, monoxide 0. On an over 10-year-old boiler, okay, it was changed, cleaned out, burner new, but for having 0 ppm,
it's possible.
guess.
You could have 0.
guess.
You could have pretty close to freaking 0.
I hope.
But
I wrote off on it with mine. He wrote off on his. He led the job. I was a contractor helping him. I charged him 2.5 hours for going there. So whatever, it is what it is.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. Hopefully I didn't smoke my meter.
That's all. For there's a few people in the chat that commented that they feel like shit lately too. Someone said
it's the freaking times. It's depressing. You guys watch the news? Yeah. I like Chris refuses to watch the news. I'm like glued to it. I try not to comment on Facebook and crap on everything that's going on. But I can't help myself. Like it is the craziest crap going on in the world right now.
Adam, you're not like when I say I don't watch the news, the reason why I say that is because when I do, I'm obsessed with it. So I will occasionally go down a rabbit hole and then I'm like, I need to stop. I need to stop because it's like, and then you open up X and you start looking through X and you start asking Grok and like doing this stuff. And it's like, yeah, no, this is not good. Like
it's the crazy. I feel like we live in bizarro land right now. Like, I don't feel like any of this is real.
I'm, you know, it's definitely wild. You know, I feel like our parents, because our parents had to go through like Cuban Missile Crisis and all that weird crap. And I feel like it's that kind of crap again.
Ugh, Jesus Christ. I'm looking at a video that I was going to send you guys, but it's so horrific and gross. I can't even send it to you guys.
Is it violent?
No, it's just
this one.
Animals. Oh no, that one's a good video.
Okay, you just sent that. Okay.
No, this one is that's just animals pooping. So my algorithm today is just showing me animals pooping for some reason.
Yeah, your algorithm is crazy.
It's always funny when I get recommended an off the wall video. I'm like, well, it looks like I've tripped back into Bill's freaking algorithm.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually, I instantly thought of Bill when I saw something today. I go, that came from Bill. That 100% came from Bill. Sometimes I wonder if I actually send something insane to the chat, if I'm the first person to truly send it to our chat. And usually it's like, no, it's already been somewhere else.
You guys ever watch an elephant pee? Holy crap.
No, and I really don't care to.
Here's one. You guys got to watch this one. Joe, you're going to like this video.
Am I really?
100%. It's right up your alley.
Right
There you
now,
go.
I'm trying to find the latest to end off in the latest video on the show. The latest one you sent to, that was crazy. Where was it? It's that guy with like that face up close.
Was it Bill wanting us to get HVAC tattooed on our hands?
Oh,
Oh no, that's
cool.
Hold on.
So my only tattoo is gonna be an H right here on my finger.
So I'll get the A, and then you guys get the V and the C, and then when we get together, we can like.
Yeah, he wants to interlock our hands. So on some of us, it's going to be upside down because you have to be able to read HVAC the right way.
Yeah, we got to plan this out, or it's just
I say next year at the symposium, we all go to a tattoo parlor.
Is the symposium in Orlando next year? Or no, wait. No, it's fucking AHR in Orlando. No, it's in Chicago. I'm not going to the symposium.
Well, that means you can get our tattoos. Bill was actually thinking about coming to Chicago for AHR next year. He says
you're going to put time aside like to go hang out, get some food and shit, right, Adam? When we go to Chicago next year?
Oh, heck yeah.
And Jill's going to be there, so I'm bringing the old lady with me. So
Jill loves me.
I'm going to jump off here. My kid's screaming.
All right, we all got to go anyways. Hit the button. That was your cue to hit the button. Awkward. Oh, it's that creepy guy. You know we can't see anything, right? But your ring light.
Really?
Yeah, all we see is your ring light, my friend, and lips moving.
Anyways.
Adam's just going to make me uncomfortable and not hit the button.
Yeah. He's just sitting here.